Hey everyone, it's Don coming to you with his first ever FlossTube video. I hope you enjoy it. I've been wanting to do something like this since I discovered FlossTube and some of my favorite people who do them. So I will have to acknowledge a few of those as some are friends and some are influencers that I've been watching on on FlossTube. So I'll start off with saying thank you to Hannah Dowling, who I know personally. I consider her a good friend. Um, she's an amazing, very young lady who stitches a crazy amount, and she has her own videos, so you should go check those out if you get the chance. She does some really great work. Another is another person I met just a few months ago, Ali Z. Uh, she's also has her own FlossTube videos, which are amazing, as she would say. So you should check her out. She does a lot of the pretty ladies, and she does lots of things, but she really gets into the pretty ladies, the Mirabilia, and that kind of thing. Let's see who else. Kelsey of X Stitch and Chill. She's another young lady from, I think, Colorado is where she's from, and she she's a videographer by trade, but she does cross stitch and she does her own videos on FlossTube as well. And lastly but not least, Sabrina from Down Under. She's an Australian lady. She goes under the name Lady Marmalade in Stitches. So search for that on FlossTube as well. And she does a lot of varying things, a lot of stuff I've not seen before. So I like watching her for that reason. Plus, she's got a wonderful accent. She's a wonderful woman, cancer survivor, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. Yeah, so there's some of the people I watch. There are a couple others I haven't really gotten into completely yet, so I'm still. But if I find people I think are worth watching, I'll pass that on to you. So, a little about me. I'm 56, soon to be 57. Married, no kids, a dog. I live in Maryland. I'm into sci-fi. I'm an independently published author, so you can go check that out if you like, but I'm not going to get into all that here because we're here for cross stitch, even though I will later in the video touch on other things. I'm into science fiction, comic books, movies, books, horror, music, coloring, video games, art. I'm an artist as well. Watercolor, drawings, abstract design, that kind of thing. And you'll get to see those at some point. I'll visit that for you in the future. But as you can see, I'm wearing my Flash t-shirt, so I'm kind of a comic book nerd, so I'm going to label this episode 1, Secret Origin. Ooh. So anyway, without further ado, I guess since I've got all that out of the way, is to start with my whips. Now I had music that I was going to use for this, but due to technical difficulties, I don't have the ability to do that at this time. But in the future, there will be a musical intro to the whip portion of my videos. Okay, so keep that in mind. So I have currently about 20 whips, most of which are small to medium size. I don't have any BAPs. I have one that I consider to be a BAP, but for the most part, most of my stuff is medium to small, in my opinion. So here we go. I'll start off with the stuff I have on scroll frames. So the first one was a kit from Dimensions. I used to buy a lot of kits, but as I evolved into the hobby and learned a lot of things I didn't know, I became enthralled with buying just patterns and then kitting them myself. I kind of enjoy that better, even though it's sometimes pricier. But so most of the kits I bought in early days, I've since given away to people or sold them or whatever. But I held on to a few, and this is one that I recently had started. This is the Royal Peacock. Okay. So I have a real affinity for peacocks. I have many patterns and kits and whatnot that I hope to tackle at some point. Doesn't stop me from buying them when they come out with new ones. But anyway, that's that. Like I said, I just recently started this, so there's not a whole lot there. But just two colors in the center mass there. Not much going on, but I'll be working my way up here to start on the neck of it. So all right. Now this next one is my biggest one. This is it's not full coverage per se, but it's just large in scope. Boom, 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 boom. I get the package open. Now, this is my only mirror that I've started. I have several patterns, but this is the only one I've started. This is Siren in the Shipwreck. And this is all I've done. I've done part of the tail. But I love the colors. And I haven't touched this in a while, so I'm planning on putting this into my new rotation plan, which I'll explain towards the end. Sorry about looking that way. Alright, so this next one is actually my oldest whip. It's really old, like 20 years old. But again, it's something I want to get done, so I have a plan. So this will get worked into the plan. So this is, it's called Egyptian Pear. And so it's actually two projects in one, but I've only nearly completed one. But it's by Jane Lynn. So you got King Tut over here, and then Nefertiti over here. So I've only done mostly him. I haven't started hers yet, but there you go. So yeah, he's mostly done. I put this down for so long, I couldn't tell you if I'm. It looks fairly close to completion, so I'm not sure. But that's the plan. Get part of it, and get it done. This next one I had on a scroll frame, but I took it out. I'm not sure. Oh, because I wanted to start the peacock, and I didn't have a scroll frame for it. So I took this one out, and I just need to buy another scroll frame. But this next one, it's called Be at Peace Sampler by Imaginating. This was a kit. But I like the sentiment, and I like the kind of farm style, quilty sampler style Quaker. That's not really Quaker, but you know, that old farm style, you know, look to it. Can't get it in there. But didn't get a whole lot done, but you know, for what it's worth. Alright, my next one was also a kit. This is a Dimension Gold Collection Petite called Winter Watch. And I've gotten a fair amount of this one done. So I hope to get this one completed sometime, hopefully not in the too distant future, for a coworker. Alright, so this next one was also a kit from Design Works, and it's called Native American Fashion. So it's got all four of these in one design. So it's a long. It's not. I guess you could stitch them individually if you wanted to, but I have it for all. It comes enough, long material to do it all side by side. I've only gotten most of just one of the dresses completed, but there you go. And this is another old whip, not 20 years old like the Egyptian one, but it's more than a decade, I'm sure. So I want to try and get some more of that completed. So this next one, I don't have a picture to show you, or do I? Maybe I do. Sorry, it's taking a sweet time loading up. So this next one, I have a PDF pattern, and I'm using Markup XP on my Kindle Fire to use the markup program. I like doing it because it gives me a sense of how well I'm doing or not doing. Okay, I'm not sure why it's taken so long. Oh, there we go. So this is Squirrel from Owl Forest Embroidery, and it's my first pattern that I've done from this company, and they're from Russia. They use their own variegated threads, which you can order. I did not, because it's a little expensive to import that stuff from over there, and it's got to go through different countries and all that BS, and I didn't feel like messing with it. So it does come with a DMC non-variegated conversion, which I used, and it's not terrible. It's just not as interesting. It still looks okay, but it's just not quite as interesting with the variegation. And this is my progress so far. And this is also another first for me, is I'm stitching this on a 14 count Ada called Sarah from Grace Notes Fabric. Grace Notes Fabric, if you don't know who they are, check them out. They are wonderful. They have a ton of variety of thread counts and fabric types, and they just recently added more, but they have some really nice stuff, and they have a really nice retreat. They had their first retreat ever this couple of months ago, back in August, and they were planning on doing a second one again in August next year. So they just recently announced that, so check them out if you can. They're on Facebook. Yeah, so I hope to have this done by the time the next retreat rolls around, so I can put that on the brag table. Yay! All right, so that's that. Come on. Sorry, I'm a little unorganized since this is my first time doing this. My next one, and I happen to have this in a bag that I bought at that retreat by Black Cat Extitchery. They make some really gorgeous, really well-made project bags, and it's got some moths on it, which I just found that kind of beautiful. And I like the dark fabric in the background. And it's got the see-through front, which I like a lot. I don't care for the solid bag on both sides, but it's got a nice zipper. And then the inside has got some nice fabric in there that kind of goes well with the black. So this This project is it was from an issue of World of Cross Stitch from earlier this year. I'm not sure what month. Sorry about that. I can get you the information if you want to email me or comment on this video when I post it. But anyway, so I was kind of reluctant to show this because of what the title was called, in light of this week's events of what's happening in Israel with Palestine and Hamas and all that. But I'm going to show it anyway because it really doesn't have anything to do with it. I just, I didn't want people to get bent out of shape, because of the name. So, but it's called Palestinian Patterns, and it's from something called Tatrees. It's a Palestinian cross-stitch style. It's kind of like mosaic-ish. No, I have it. It's in black and white, so you probably, and you can see I've colored on top of it. But it's going to be very pretty when it's all done. And I like colors. I'm a color person. And then you can see what I've gotten done on it. And I don't know if you can see, but there's some metallic fibers in the cloth. I don't know if that comes across in the video or not. But yeah, so this fabric is just a simple metallic Aida from I want to say I want to get around. I don't know if it's Zweigart or maybe. It's available at Joann's. That's where I got it from. But so you'll probably learn this about me. I like the standard lower count Aida. I like them if they're soft and pliable. I do like that. But I just like the size and the feel of the stitches. They don't. I don't feel like they're all crunched up together and tight. So that's my thing. That's my jam. Now I am sort of broadening my, things to try out. But that'll probably come later. I haven't figured out exactly what I want to try, but I'm thinking something probably huge. That'll be like my one, the Last Supper or some kind of giant piece of something, whatever it might be. This next one is it's a Mill Hill buttons and beads from their winter series called Snowy Owl. I haven't done much on this. It was something I was making for my mother, and she passed away about 4 years ago. Yeah, a little over 4 years ago. So she loved owls. She had owl stuff all over the house, and so I have a love for them. So this is on a really dark perforated paper, so it's kind of hard to see. I'll hold it at an angle so you can see it. So I've done some of it, but it just started it. And speaking of which, I'll show you an old finish that, since we're on the topic of owls, that I did. So I did this back in 1996. It was a gift to my mother, and she had it hanging in her living room. And of course, once she passed away, I got it back. And I had written something nice to her about, sons and moms kind of thing. I'm not going to share that with you, but just thought I'd show you that. So. Alright, this next one is also a kit. So this is from Dimensions. It's called Scenic Farm. So I really like the feel of the design, that winter farmland, country, Amish kind of look to it. I have several various projects kitted up that fall into this category, and actually another kit as well that this one I'm not too keen on, to be quite honest. I'm finding that the Dimensions kits, they try to do too much, is how I feel about it. Like this particular one that I started, I'm not even going to show you what I did because it's nothing. But I kind of crapped out on it because they do certain things to achieve like visual effects, to give something like depth or kind of a 3D feel. So they'll use a half stitch quite a bit, or I guess that's sometimes called 10 stitch. But they'll use a lot more strands, because typically most designs, patterns call for 2 strands over 1 or over 2, or 1 strand, if it's something difficult to work with, or it's just delicate line work. But this one, they have like 3 and 4 strands, and that gets really hard to mess with, when you're doing it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I may not ever actually work on this, or I may rethink of how I'm going to do it. I may ignore their, use 3 strands for this or whatever, because it's just too hard to deal with. So we'll see. Or maybe I'll just get rid of this and start a different one that isn't a pain in the butt. Alright, so Halloween is nearly upon us, as this is the 14th of October, so 2 weeks away. So I feel like I should be working on something Halloween, even though I know I won't finish it. But this was a cute one, I thought. And I did start it, but I didn't get a whole lot done. I'm not going to show you how much I got done, but it's called Halloween Hocus Pocus from Imaginating. It was also a kit, but it's cute. It's got all little hats, little witch hats. I think it's adorable. Alright, so this is a small, and I'm actually not too far from being done. But I kind of have put it down for a little while, although I did stitch on it a little bit recently. But it's just called, I guess it's just, it was in a magazine from well, I think the magazine came out in the late 80s, like 80, somewhere between 86 and 88, I think. But the design is copyrighted 1984 by XYZZX Creations. It's called, anyway, the design is a stegosaurus. So you can see where I've colored it to differentiate the stitches. So not a whole lot to it. It's pretty simple. And that's how much I've gotten done. So pretty close to finishing the dinosaur itself. Then I just have the shadow in the ground underneath to do, and then the name, and then that'll be it. That'll be a nice little frame piece that I can hang on my wall. I did this for me. Because I've done quite a few over the years but I've given them all away as gifts. So I don't really have, much for me. I have the owl piece that I got back from the one I did for my mom. And I have another one hanging upstairs, which I didn't bring down, but maybe I'll show it at some point. It's a duck in a pond that I had done for my grandmother because she liked ducks. So I did that for her, and I got that back when she passed away about 10 years ago. I think I need can I pause this? I don't know if I can pause this. I'll tell you what, I won't pause it, and hopefully I can edit it later for dead space, because I need a drink. Okay. Got my diet dew. I'm a dew head. Love me some dew. Not all the flavors, but most of them are pretty good. Of course, I only drink the diet one now. But yeah. On with the show. This next one, it was a pattern that I had to kit out myself. If I can open the bag. It's from the Vickery collection called Nutcracker Seasons. And I've decided to break it down into 4 individual pieces instead of one giant. So the one I started is this guy here, the winter. Yeah, he's the winter, and then spring, summer, fall. I was making this for my brother-in-law, and he's a Nutcracker fanatic. And I had every intention of making them all 4, but you know how things go. So. And, you know, I guess again, this is considered small, but there's a lot of color changes in this. So it's a little bit of a pain from that perspective. But it's fun. It's fun to do. So I've gotten a fair amount done. I like the holly. They did a good job designing that. But yeah, I'm not too far from getting this completed, so you know. But no, it's no rush. I'll just do it when I do it. This one is another one I'm not real keen on. Well, I've had it for a while, and I started on it, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But it's a Dimensions Gold Collection Petite, and it's Patriotic Angel. So I like the design. It's a nice design. I like patriotic stuff, and I like angels if they're well done. And that one's pretty well done for a small. And I started on it, but it's kind of hard to see because it's dark blue on dark blue. But yeah, I think maybe it was just the dark fabric at the time I started this. I was like, ooh, you know. So maybe I'll get back to it, but it's going to go in the potential rotation, and I'll get to that when I get done with what I'm showing you. That way you can see what my plan is. This is probably, if I started working on this now, I probably could have it done in a week. It's real close to being done, and I love it. It's just so well designed. This was a kit from Dimensions, and it's one from their it's called Matted Accent series. So it came with a mat, so you could be ready to frame when you're done with it. So it's called White at Sea. That's a White House. But that's so cute. It's just so perfectly adorable. You know, I'm guessing that. I guess I could. That's a real place. I'm not sure. Doesn't say. But regardless, it's nice. And like I said, I'm practically done. I really just have the sky and backstitching to do. The, so I'm real happy with that. That's gorgeous. I can't wait to put that in the frame. I was thinking I might give this away, but maybe not. A lot of these that you're seeing now are kits from that I've been working on, or projects I've been working on in the last decade that I had a person in mind for probably most of these that I was going to give them to when completed, and it was either a coworker or somebody that I was friends with that I no longer see, or I don't work at that place anymore, so I don't see the person anymore, and kind of happens, you know. So, i.e., this next project. It's also a dimensions kit. It's called Blow Bubbles, and it's a little dolphin with a floaty, and it says, "When life gives you troubles, blow bubbles." So this was gonna be for a coworker, the woman I used to work with, but she quit and moved on to bigger, better things, I guess, and so never finished it. But I did most of it. So again, it's like another project that wouldn't take me long to finish. But I probably would finish it and give it to somebody else, you know, because it's cute. But so you can see I've done the bulk of it. The bulk of the design is just a few finishing colors and outlining, backstitching, and the words up in here. So it's cute. Alright, same story with this next one. It was intended to be for someone. Now I do have a new person in mind if I get to the finishing it, but we'll see. This is from Janlin. It's a small, but it's a beautiful butterfly. And again, I've gotten a lot of it done, but it's just small. It's not huge or anything. Alright, so this next one is also a kit. It's from Riolis. Yeah, Riolis. And it's called Blue Jays, which you may have seen this online somewhere or whatever, but it's so beautiful. I love winter scenes. I love birds. Blue jays are my favorite. My wife's favorite is cardinals, so we have cardinals and blue jays around the house and little knickknacks and whatnot. So she's the cardinal, I'm the blue jay. But anyway, this is So Riolas, I don't really know much about them, but I think they're from Russia or Eastern Europe somewhere. I'm not exactly sure, but they're designed usually have Russian um, alphabet, instructions on there. So, but they use Weigart fabric in their kits. Um, I'm not sure what. Yeah, it doesn't really say what size or anything, but it's just straight up white. And one thing I will have to say though, their kits are beautiful because they give you a nice chart in color. I'll show you that. Now this is just a copy of the color chart, but I mean, I almost wish they didn't because it makes it hard to follow. For me personally, I like a black and white chart with all the symbols. But, it is what it is. I mean, I'll get it done, but it's a lot of color changes, I will say that. So that will take some time. I only barely touched this. I mean, I did start it. And their threads come like this. I'm sure you've probably seen these before. It's but the one thing that's cool about this is you don't have to like unravel the 6-strand things like a DMC would. You have to unravel. These are just single threads, and you just unwind it and then cut it to whatever style and length you want to use. So in that respect, that's pretty cool. I like that. And I found that European kits are all like that. They all come this way. At least ones that I've seen. So yeah, so you can see I literally just barely started it. Nothing to even tell you what the hell that is. But I do look forward to working on it again at some point. All right, folks, we're getting close to the end of the whip portion of our show. And I've been doing this for 48 minutes already. So hopefully I can wrap this up sooner than later. Okay, so this next one is a pattern that I got off of Etsy. And it's called Mandala Unicorn. I guess that's how you say it, Mandala. From Awesome Pattern Studio with Love. So there's. I just found that really cool looking. I mean, it's a cool animal, a cool pose, a nice, interesting design, color scheme. Everything about it just screams, do me, stitch me. So I did. So I said, yes, please. I worked on this a little bit, not a whole lot, on and off. Shit. Sorry about that, folks. I'll have to edit that S word out. Now my PC is in its final years, and it's noisy, and it shows up on this video something fierce. So, okay, I managed to put it back to sleep. Oh, come on. Okay. Try it. All This is getting on my nerves. I'm going to turn you off. Sleep. Sorry, people. Technical difficulties. Okay. Shh, baby's sleeping. So this is what I've gotten done on it. So can't really tell much yet from that, but it looks cool. I've got it on a really neat. I don't know if you can really see it. It's kind of got a modeled fabric. I just bought that from Hobby Lobby. It's just a simple 14 count, fabric. Nothing special, but it looks good with these colors because they're kind of a pastel-y southwestern, scheme, kind of like a, Southwest American Indian kind of motif. Okay, 2 more to go. All right, let's see. I do not have the official color picture of what this is supposed to look like. It's in the other room somewhere. But anyway, so this is from Stony Creek. It's from a series. There's 6 of them. Quilt inspired series. But anyway, this is the second in the series, which I did do and complete the first one. If I can reach. Oh, I can't reach it. So this is a fully finished. I have it framed and everything. So that's the first in the series, Home Sweet Home. And as you can see, it's quilt inspired. There's some quilt patterns there and some houses. And I love that tree in the middle at the top. That's just really cool. A lot of really delicate work. And there's beads. I don't know if you can tell that from there, but along the border, you see these little red dots going down the side there. Those are all beads going around. And that was my first time doing beads. I think I did a pretty good job, actually. But I completed this at my very first retreat last October. Just actually, it was Halloween weekend. That was the... I'm not sure if it had an official name, but it was in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and it was my first, and it was an experience. I enjoyed myself, not as much as I did at the one in August this year, but it was a good introductory to retreat style, having that experience. I made a lot of new friends at the one at Grace Notes Retreat this year. So I'll say hi to them. Hi Table 5. Hopefully you're watching this and enjoying it. Coming up on an hour's worth of material here. But yeah, so it was It was Tiffany and Dana and Allie and Anne and Trudy and Cindy. Yeah, I think I got that right. Sorry if I got it wrong. Um, but yeah, so all of them super nice people, and I hope to see them again uh, next August in Grace Notes 2. So anyway, so the second one in this series is called Simplify, and you can see my colored up copy of the pattern. So this one's a lot less involved, so it should finish up rather quickly, and I've gotten a lot of it done. So yeah, you can see I've gotten a fair amount of it done, just kind of filling in and, you know, getting her done. All right, and then last but not least it's actually a sow. I don't really do sows because I'm terrible at keeping up and because some of them are pretty big, you know, there's a lot of stitches to get done, and the release schedule, I think if it was like, you know, a medium to small amount and on a monthly schedule, but it's Tempting Tangles, if you're not familiar with them. They're, you know, they have a lot of designs, and but they're PDFs online, and they got some interesting stuff. I love their Quaker series and their Transportation series, which I bought all of those, and I've done a few of their other sows, but I buy them as a sow because they're cheaper. Because will release it as a all in one package version, but they charge you more for that for some reason. But anyway, but I like this one a lot because of what it is and how it's done. But obviously, I'm not keeping up with it. But I wanted it because it didn't matter. I didn't care. So it's called Dream, and it's based on something related to the painter Vincent van Gogh, and I don't have a picture of like the overall picture. I can't show you that right now. But here's the first two parts, so you can. I had it backwards. So it's going to spell out the word dream at the top, and you can see these really ornate letters, which are just gorgeous. And I know I won't be able to, you know, catch up or complete it or anything, but I do want to work on it. So but anyway, I'll show you. Like I said, I only just really started it, didn't get a whole lot done, but you can see. It's hard to see in this because the light makes it look either white or blue, but it's actually kind of like a mint green fabric, which I don't know, for some reason I just felt like the colors that are involved in this would just pop or look good against that kind of minty green background. And this is, I think this is the even weave that I used. Yeah, 14 count. I got it off of one, 2, 3 stitch. Okay, so that's all of my whips. So I counted them up. I have exactly 20. Well, actually, yeah, that's 20. That's 20. So what I decided to do, and I'm stealing sort of ideas from other people, because Hannah, she has a little spinner wheel of some kind, maybe on her phone or something. I'm not sure, but she has her 1,001 projects. I exaggerate, but not by much. Um, that she puts on the wheel, and then she spins it, and she forces herself to work on one of those, whatever project pops up. The Sabrina from Australia, the woman I mentioned at the top of the video, she does the same thing. She has it on her phone and she spins it. And so, but what she does is she has like one or two focus pieces that she always works on, and then she'll spin the wheel for 2 additional projects to work on for that period, whatever period of time she decides she wants to do that for. For her, it's about 2 to 4 weeks, however often she decides she wants to do her next video. I'm a little more structured, I think. So what I plan on doing going forward from today on is I'm going to have an assigned project for each week. So say for the month of October, there's 4 weeks, let's say. And so I'm going to have my focus piece, which is the squirrel, the owl forest squirrel that I showed you. So that's actually whip 21. That would make 21. So the other remaining 20 that I showed you today, I'm going to put those in a random rotation, but I'm not going to use a wheel. I'm not going to spin a wheel. I'm going to use something that is very common to me, being an old school tabletop RPG player. If you don't know what that is, that's a role-playing gamer, and we use dice like this. So this is a 20-sided die. There's 20 facets on here. They're numbered 1 through 20. So I have written down all of these projects, and I'm going to randomly determine the remaining 2 for the month of October. Since there's only 2 weeks left, I'm only going to roll this twice this time. But then going forward, each month, I'm going to roll this an additional however many times to decide what I'm going to work on that month. All right? So let's see what the dice will bestow upon me today. My sheet. Okay, so die roll number 1 is 16 is the lucky number. Okay, so first one is actually is going to be my quilt project. So that's simple enough. That'll be starting this coming week. And the second roll. is an 8. Okay, and that was the Mill Hill Snowy Owl. So I just have to find that, but that'll be it. So going forward for the rest of October, I'll have 3 projects to work on. My focus piece, I'll continue working on the Owl Forest Squirrel. And then the final 2 weeks of the month, I'll be working on the Stony Creek Quilt, number 2 in the series, and the Mill Hill Snowy Owl. Very cool. I'm excited. It gives me focus. So that's what I needed to do, and hopefully, then the idea is, as I complete projects and they will drop off the list, I can put an entry in for start a new project. Then, should I roll, when I roll the 20 cider, if I land on start a new project, then I'll have a second table of potential new projects. And I have a ton of them. A ton, okay? For example, so I created another list of 20, which would be the second roll I would make if I start a new project. So I'll share that with you. So, for example, I roll it, start a new project, I roll again. So from the next list of 20 items, here's what I have in store for potential new starts. Something from Bella Filipina. Or Lavender and Lace. Cottage Garden Sampler. Something from Silver Creek Designs. Or Jeanette Douglas. Waxing Moon. I like designs with bees on them, so I have bees listed because I have several bee patterns, and I'm always looking for more. Something from Joan Elliott, perhaps. Some random, what I call fantasy. So it could be dragons, wizards. I don't know anything. Fairies. It could be anything. Just random fantasy. Something from Emma Congdon. I have 3 books of hers with tons of designs. So I have one kitted and ready to go. So if I should land on that, I can start on something. Something with a Asian theme. I have several kits and patterns for, I have one that's got a samurai. I've got some with Asian ladies in various outfits, or just an Asian theme. I have some Nordic designs. I really love the Nordic patterns. I can't remember the name of the company, but I bought several patterns from a shop on Etsy that has kind of winter, designs of houses in the field, in the snow, and all kinds of cool stuff. They look so cool. Birds, and that could be more peacocks. I have a ton of owl kits that I want to start. I also have a book with carousel horses, which is gorgeous, and I shared that with Allie Z, and she had to have it. So she found a copy on, I don't know, Pinterest or wherever, or eBay or something like that. So I'm glad she found it because she has a love for those as well. Um, Ooh, this would be cool if I got this one. Long Dog sampler. I have 3 or 4 patterns, and I only have one of them partially kitted up. So that would be a major undertaking, but it would be also very cool at the same time. So that would be fun. Something patriotic. I have several patriotic themed samplers. I have several from Silver Creek. I think I have Plum Street sampler one that's fully kitted and ready to go. A random sampler. I have some sampler patterns. I could do that. Something Christmas theme. I have a few scattered about. I'm still trying to get my stuff organized into categories so that way I have a bookcase with all the little plastic shelves, and I'm trying to, like, oh, I want a patriotic pattern. Boom, I can just open the drawer and say, and then just pick through whatever's in there and have it, various wildlife. So I have, stuff with deer and fish and birds and, whatever. I got all kinds of wildlife stuff. And then the last category, and certainly this doesn't exhaust everything. This is just what came to mind first, I guess. Quaker, something Quaker. So I have plenty of Quaker patterns. I mean, I have a ton of them, and I bought more recently. So there you go. So I'll do that going forward. As I complete something, I'll add stuff into the rotation, and then if I start a new pattern, I'll roll on the wish list and pick something out of there, and then hopefully I'll have something kitted up and ready to go. But if not, it's not a big deal to do that. I'll just pick out a pattern and then go online and purchase all the stuff, and I'll have it within a week and start it when it gets here. So, all right, let's do some haul. Ready for some haul? Some money haul? This is going to be a long video. This is going to be like 2 hours long at this rate. Okay. Now, some of this is, like, I didn't just get all this week. This is all from, let's just say, the beginning of August. So the first one is from Stony Creek. It's the legendary aircraft. Yeah, I do lots of what stuff people might consider girly or whatever, so I had to get something with some testosterone in it, so there you go. Pretty cool. I think it'd be fun if I knew somebody that would enjoy having one of these hanging in their house. I would do it for them. So this is a Joan Elliott geisha, blue geisha. That's gorgeous. I can't wait to do that. That might be one of the first ones I do from my Asian category. Should I do that? Decide to do that? There's a Silver Creek. It's in the patriotic theme. It's called Freedom Reigns by Diane Grick, who I met at my first retreat. She was one of the guest designers there. Really super nice lady, and her sister was there too. Actually, who I met again at the Grace Notes retreat. She showed up on the last day. just to visit. She wasn't really part of it. She just happened to be nearby, and so okay. So another in the Bella Filipina, um, pretty ladies, if you will, category. This is Cleopatra, Queen of the Nile, and you know, Egyptian themed stuff I love. That's another one of my favorite categories. So, like I said, I have a thing for another kind of thing I like are houses, like little kind of like abstract, you know, farmhouses, and you know, I don't know how to describe it. But this is from Little House Needleworks, Farmhouse Christmas Series, Part 1 of 9, Little Red Barn. It's cute. All right, and I'm adding to my Mirabilia collection the Red Lady Pirate. That's going to be really cool. Although, I think I may have mentioned this to somebody. This dead space up here, I can't let that go. I got to do something with that. I put some birds or something up there, or a wisp of a cloud or something. I don't know. Well, this is another Miss Cherry Blossom. Again, with my Asian theme. Love that. And I picked this up this past weekend. Part of the Cross Stitches of Maryland group that I see regularly. A lovely lady, Kim Weinhold, was part of organizing an event at her church down in Bowie, Maryland, which is it's probably like a 40-minute ride from where I live, south of Baltimore. But anyway, it was stitch and swap, so you could bring stuff to sell or give away, and then we were there for 6 hours in stitching and you know, having a good time. So she had Kim was selling some stuff, and I picked up the March Aquamarine Fairy, which I didn't really know about this series within Mirabilia's line, but they apparently had or are going to have, I'm not sure how old these are, had these one for each month of the year and each gemstone. So I'm going to have to see about trying to track those others down. But I fell in love because I love the wings. The wings, they have like a stained glass feel, but kind of see-through, wispy kind of. It reminds you of, you know, dragonfly wings. You know how they're so delicate. Tiny Modernist, Crab Dance. I love that little crab. That's cute. And from Cottage Garden Samplers, it's the first in the Snowman, or well, maybe it's not theirs. It just says a Time for All Season series, the first one. So I don't want to assume they're all snowmen, but because they do have a snowman series. I have a couple from Ink Circles. Um, Victorian license. That's just really cool. And then well suited from them as well. I love that design. That'd be really good for a game room, if you had that, or if you played poker a lot, you're gonna have that hanging up somewhere nearby. This is from. It's a design by Chrysanthellum and and Talon emblem. Tangled Tidings, Merry Christmas. All right, Amish Country from Twin Peaks Primitives. I just fell in love with that. That tickles my tickles my throat is what it's doing apparently. I'm gonna have to wrap this up soon. I've been talking for too long. We're almost done. Summer Quaker from Leela Studio. I've seen a lot of other people in Floss 2 videos talking about this and doing it, and I didn't know it was such a big deal, but I had picked it up back in August not knowing that, so I was like, oh, I must have good taste. Everybody's doing it. Primrose Cottage Stitches, welcome to the North Pole. This was a sal that a lot of people were doing at the Grace Notes retreat. I bought it there, but I didn't get the kit or anything. I just bought the pattern. Christmas. And then this is my most recent purchase. I found out about a online company called Cross Stitch Boutique, and they had a lot of beautiful stuff. And I think most of it might be excuse me. So, found this on there. I was struck by its beauty instantly, so I was like, yeah, I'm buying it. Magic Needle. Not sure who they are, but I'm sure I'll be getting some more stuff from them eventually. All right, so that's all of my haul from the last couple of months. So upcoming, don't really have any upcoming events like I'm attending. I have my usual first and third Saturdays with Cross Stitchers of Maryland, in Aberdeen and Bel Air. I do both of those. That's really about it for now for this year. Just my week, my every other week event. I am going to be doing something special for myself. My birthday is 3 weeks from today, November the 4th. So after I go to my Saturday morning stitching group that day. I'm having my wife take me. Haven't decided yet. I'm either going to go to Hodgepodge, which I've never been to, up in Pennsylvania somewhere, or Salty Yarns in Berlin, Maryland. They used to be in Ocean City, but they moved. And both stores sound amazing. I just haven't decided which one it'll be because it'll be about an hour ride for both, either way. But since I'll already be in Aberdeen that morning for cross stitch group, I may just decide to go ahead and keep going that direction to go to Hodgepodge because it'll be closer. So I've got some money squirreled away for that day, so I can go spend a little bit and get some new haul because I need it, right? Anyway, so and I'm already signed up for Grace Notes next year, so that's squirreled away for now. I'll have to start saving money for that after the first of the year. So in future videos, an idea I'm going to steal from Kelsey, the girl from Cross Stitch or X Stitch and Chill. She likes to end her videos with what she calls the chill portion of her videos, where she talks about things that she likes to do other than cross stitching. And that could be anything. So I think I'll at times touch on topics or things, other things I love besides cross stitching. So that might be coloring. I do like to color. I have a ton of books that I'll never finish coloring. Tons of supplies, to do that with. I'm also in the comic books big time. I got a basement full of comics, which I'm starting to downsize. I work at a store on Sundays. I have for over 20 years. But now that I'm getting older, I need to start downsizing, and I can see the train stop ahead that says retirement on it. So I'm want to get myself acclimated to not having as much and living more frugally if that's possible. So anyway, but I have a ton of material to read, and I'll occasionally buy something new, but I'm not buying. I've told the owner that I'm quitting by the end of the year, so. And I've stopped ordering new stuff. So, but anyway, as I'm reading something, if I feel it's noteworthy, I'll mention it here. Music. I'm a big '80s person. I love the synth new wave music. From the '80s, and so it's hard for me to find new music, like modern, like currently being made music. I mean, even though some of my favorite groups from back then are still putting out albums, Duran Duran has never let up, and I love them for that. Movies and music. Movies. I don't go to the movies anymore. I used to live there when I was younger, like from like May to September. I was in there like every week seeing a movie. But of course, COVID crushed that industry big time. I'm surprised they're still making them, but whatever. I don't really have an opinion too much about it anymore. take it or leave it. Most stuff, the stuff that I watch, sci-fi or comic book movies, I just wait till they hit streaming, because I have a bunch of the different services that I can watch stuff on. So there's no shortage of anything to watch, and not to mention all the programming from Netflix and whatnot. So nothing short to watch there. But I've been watching Mr. Mercedes on Peacock, based on the Stephen King trilogy of books. It's been really good. I've not really seen a whole lot movie wise. I mean, I watched a few things recently, but nothing super amazing. I watched Thor, Love and Thunder, which was pretty good. It was actually better than I was expecting. Um, so we'll see. I'll think of something, when the time comes. Books. I'm a bibliophile in the worst sense. I buy tons of books. Again, stuff that I'll probably never get them all read, but I buy them anyway. In fact, I got one last night. So this is Becoming the Boogeyman by Richard Chismar. Now, it's a sequel to another book called Chasing the Boogeyman. And it was really good, but the reason it was really good to me is because the story takes place right here in my hometown, Edgewood, Maryland, and Richard, the author, Richard Chismar, and I actually went to high school at the same time. He was 2 years ahead of me, I believe. I knew his name. I knew him when I was in high school. I knew who he was, but I wasn't friends with him or anything like that. So, in Chasing the Boogeyman, he named places, he named people, because the story is based in reality, but it's fiction. The story is fiction, obviously, but he puts the story, the setting of the story is in his own life and the life of people we went to school with and our hometown, and he describes things the way they were back then, and people from our neighborhood, people I went to school with, people I was actually friends with. So from that aspect, it was extremely cool, and the story was really, really good. Which so I've met him in person and talked to him, and that was about 2 years ago, I think it was. But anyway, this is his new book, and it's called Becoming the Boogeyman, which is, I'm assuming, the story that led up to his first book. So this is kind of like a prequel story. But and if you're not familiar with Richard Chismar, he has also co-written a trilogy of books with Stephen King. He's very good friends with Stephen King, as I understand it, and so I can't highly recommend this enough. If you just want a good story, go check it out. And of course, like I said, this is the prequel book, even prequel story, but it's a sequel book, follow up to the first one. So check that out, and if you can, it's I recommend it. What else? I think I'm just about done. The other thing I like to do is when I travel, I just recently came back from visiting my sister in Virginia, and we had a family reunion in North Carolina. So we went down there for one day, and then another day we drove into Tennessee. So that whole, kind of tri-state corner there of the state, and so I'm always looking for interesting snacks because I'm a snack person. So something that you can only find when you travel. You go to different parts of the country. Regionally, places get stuff that other places don't because they have different, I don't know, snack distribution channels or what have you. I don't know how that works, but I got I got these Spaceballs ranch rocket ranch rocket ship flavor. I haven't tried this particular flavor yet, but lesser evil. They this is a series of snacks that they make, and this isn't the first one I've tried. This is just a flavor that I had not seen before. Actually, got this and a pizza one at the same time. I bought them down in Tennessee, I think it was. But I've seen this brand all here, but I've only ever seen the cheddar and the cinnamon one, both of which were very good. I ate the whole bag. The pizza one, I'm just about almost halfway done the bag, and then I've got these still to go. But so it's like a cheese ball, is what it is. But what's different about it is I don't know, it's baked with avocado oil instead of whatever they would normally use, I guess, which gives it kind of a very light, kind of, fluffy texture, I guess. But yeah, it's if it means anything to you, it's USDA organic, and I don't really care about that. And it's non-GMO, gluten-free, blah blah blah. So if you're into all that stuff, that is probably a good snack for you. And their flavors they're not overpowering, which is, I could use a little more flavor. I can always use a little more flavor, but it's a good enough hint of whatever the particular flavor is that you know what it is, and it tastes good, and it's not a heavy snack at all, not at all. So try those out if you see them. I think Five Below has them, and maybe your local grocery store might have them. I don't know, but I recommend those. And I think that's about it. I'm also a gamer, whether that's granted it's whether that's card games, board games, video games. I like playing. Sadly, though, COVID kind of crushed a lot of that. I used to have a D&D group that I played with monthly, and that fell apart. And then now I've since met some new people and have played in person and virtually some D&D, but all the board games and card games and stuff I have, they're just collecting dust. I'm probably going to start getting rid of them because I don't have anybody that I'm friends with to play anymore. But anyway, but I still do video gaming. So as of late, it's been Diablo 4 and a new game that launched in September. Did it launch in September? Yeah, it launched in September, called Starfield, which is a RPG, and it's been good. It hasn't really grabbed me like I kind of hoped it would have. But I've been more involved with doing stitching and whatnot, so. But Ubisoft just came out with their latest Assassin's Creed game, which looks really, really good. Ubisoft is probably my favorite video game company. They make just so many things, so many franchises that are just super fun to play. Um, the Far Cry series and all the Tom Clancy stuff that they do, and Assassin's Creed, and I'm sure there's plenty of others that I can't think of right now. So I enjoy those games. They changed the setting and some of the specifics, but the gameplay is more or less the same as it always is, which I'm happy about. I don't dislike that. I wish they would come out with a new Splinter Cell. Missed that series. That Splinter Cell was the bomb back in the day. I mean, I couldn't play enough of that when those games were being churned out. I kind of would hope they would revisit that at some point, because there's a built-in fan base for it for sure. But anyway, I digress. So I think that's it. I'm done. So I am thankfully hoping that this video works out and I get it posted to YouTube and you all can watch it. And if I do that, I guess, what is it people always say? Click that like button and subscribe and whatever all that stuff is. I don't know. I don't even know how you're supposed to do that. I'll have to figure that out. But anyway, so I'm hoping I'll be back with another video in maybe my birthday. So maybe just in a few weeks. Maybe. Because I'll hopefully have some more haul for sure. And then, of course, I'll be showing you my progress. However I can do that, I'm not really sure. Alright, I'll work it out. But thanks for watching. See you soon. Take care. Keep stitching. Bye.